All right, all my microphones suck, so this recording already gonna be cooked. But yeah, this is the best I can do. This is the microphone from my headphones. My actual microphone is like weirdly echoey. It sounds like I'm giving a speech in a tunnel. So yeah. Um. So today I'm gonna be doing mapping. Uh, of what if civilization started over? Um, which is a pre-existing series on YouTube, as I'm sure you're aware. A lot of people do it, and today I'm gonna do it because it's fun and I felt like this, so I'm gonna do it. And I thought about where I wanted to start it before the recording, where quote unquote life starts, I guess. But I'm gonna go with Greece. Um, when I would play Doodle Empires, this is where I would always start. Those civilizations. And in that, you're kind of stuck in a box, so you can't really go outside of that. But here we have the whole world, so that's fun. But we're gonna start in Greece. Whoa. We'll start in Greece. Use red, and civilization will start like let them start like right here in Athens. Actually, I don't like this color. I'm gonna use like a dark blue. Mm, can't find any good blues. This will do. Okay, so I imagine their world starts right here where like Athens is, and they'll expand outward and kind of just occupy this peninsula here. Um, Eventually they learn how to use a boat and make their way over here to this Spartan island thingy. They'll take that, and then they'll take this island. Okay, so now they have like a question. I don't like the color that it looks too close to the ocean, so I'm gonna give it like a. Is this any better? Mm, Not really. Um, they look like they sank into the ocean. I just want to fix that. Maybe this would do it better. Okay, that works. I'll work with this. That's a solid color. Um, so yeah, they have their neat little empire down here. Not, I guess they're the only country. Empire is a weird word, but civilization. So they'll continue to creep up. I know there's like mountains in here, so they'll kind of focus on the coastal areas. They probably like mostly depend on fish at this point, fishing in the Greek seas. I don't know the names of them. Mediterranean. So they'll make their way up the coast. Eventually, they'll make their way up here to Thessaloniki, and then they'll occupy this. But this is where things take a turn for the worse. Oh, gee, voice crack. Oh my God. But things will take a turn for the worse because now they're gonna have a separatist movement, as you do. These guys don't want to be under Greek control. What's a country for that? I don't want to call them Greece because they're not Greece. I'm gonna call them Olympia. Olympia. So Olympia, and then Thessaloniki. Is it Nikki or Niki? I don't know. But they break away, and I'm sure these guys will try to fight it and like throw a fit, but they simply can't. It's too far away at this point. They aren't able to communicate very well, so they're cooked, and they have to let them go. So I guess now these guys will focus more on the western coast of the Greek peninsula, Balkan peninsula. So I'll just kind of work on that. And the new Thessaloniki country will in expanding both eastward and inland. Um, they're going to be trying to get some of that mountain land. Most of this is mountain, I'm pretty sure, but they're moving inland, and everything's well for the time being. These guys continue moving along the coast up into where present-day Albania is, and move inland a little bit, again, tackling the mountains. Eventually, kind of get that part down, and they're just kind of expanding, but eventually it happens again. They can't hold on to their outer territories, and then they break away. This time in Albania, like area. These guys do not want to be under Greek control. It's a pretty sizable movement away from Olympia. Olympia will try to fight it to not much success. Again, once these territories get too far away from them at this current moment in time, they don't really have the power to do anything to stop them, so they kind of just have to let it be. So, third country, third, I can't count apparently. Ugh, okay. Olympia will be forced to expand in a different direction. I don't think they're good enough with boats to have found Crete yet, but maybe. Um, maybe they found a couple of them uh, islands in the Greek area. They're going to keep expanding upwards, trying not to get pinched by these two when they expand, and they will expand. Albania, in particular, is like, ooh, free coastline, yay. I don't know how stable Albania and Thessaloniki exactly would be, but yeah, whatever. They're gonna keep expanding anyway, and they expand inland a good deal, kind of meet up with the border here of the Olympians and keep moving. So Albania is looking quite girthy now, and then their neighbor Thessaloniki hasn't done that much expanding, but they'll keep pushing east and trying to make their way to the Black Sea over by like the Dardanelles area. Ah, they will figure out that there's like a sea here and again moving towards it. And then they move up here and they're like, oh shit, it's the ocean. It's not the ocean, but they think it's the ocean. Which I guess is all that matters here. They expand a ton and basically, yeah, here they are. Big Thessaloniki. They're probably not really Thessaloniki anymore. I imagine their capital's there. So if we were to get like a capital map, um, it'd be something like this. Like these guys have Athens here. That's kind of a thick paintbrush for. So Thessaloniki is like right, or not Thessaloniki. Jesus Christ, Athens is like right there. About Albania's capital is probably somewhere like here, and then these guys' capital is like right here. So for context, um, anyways, back to expansion. Thessaloniki's too big. They're gonna break away, or someone's gonna break away from them. And here we're gonna have the Thracians, Dardanellian. I don't know. This area right down here. Um, these guys, they've had enough. They're done, and they're gonna take a lot of land from them too. A lot of these eastern areas want to be under their own government, government. Um, instead of Thessaloniki, and they aren't powerful enough to really do anything about it. So they're just kind of like, grr, angry. But these guys will take basically everything eastward, including access to the Black Sea, which will really make them mad. They'll try to fight back unsuccessfully. They'll like push in and fail, take breakthrough, and then we have another country. I'm gonna call these guys Dardanelia. Yeah, sure. Um, yeah. Up there in Kosovo, like this area, we're gonna have another breakaway. I don't really know how to explain the breakaways. It just feels monotonous, like I'm just being like too far away, can't hold on, rebellion. It's feeling very monotonous, but at this point, there's no, I don't feel a easy way to start a new country. So it's happening a lot. These governments, these like caveman quote unquote governments, that must mean like these early governments aren't exactly good, and so they tend to lead to a lot of confusion and a lot of mayhem, and that's what we're seeing here. So Albania loses like almost all the northeast part of their country, and yeah, they're cooked. And these guys kind of move in a little bit inland, and yeah, now I mean, what's left to do but expand? So they just move into the Central Balkan area. Um, I don't like the color. This feels a little too similar to the other guys, so I'm just gonna. There we go. Here, I'm gonna actually. I'll just like. There we go. Yeah, good. Yeah. Okay. Olympia. It's time for them to expand. What the hell's going on over there? Looks like we got some wonky business going on. I did a few practice runs on this map before I started, and it looks like I think we're good. Anything in Turkey? I did. Okay, we good. All right. Where was I? Oh yeah, Olympia. They're gonna expand. They're gonna try to get as much land at this like pocket as they can, but they're pretty much stuck off from getting any more Balkan territory. So they're gonna turn to the sea, um, as many a civilization has done. Again, their economy is very fish dependent, but they're probably moving into agriculture. At this point, I imagine like how the hell is this team gonna exist? These guys, if they can't really grow food. I mean, I guess they can like hunt buffalo or something. I don't think there's buffalo in the Balkan stuff. I don't know. I don't know. But hunter gatherers, I guess. I don't know. But nevertheless, these guys are turning to the ocean to explore. They'll discover these Mediterranean islands up here, down here, eventually discovering Crete, which is basically a giant rock in the middle of the Mediterranean. It's not super valuable, but they put people there anyways. And eventually they discover the island of Rhodes and even this, for what from their perspective is a giant island. Um, so they discover a lot of this and they kind of move south. They're like, whoa, this is so much land, so much epic land. Woohoo. But eventually, like they've done twice up to this point and are about to do again thrice, they can't hold on to it. They try, they fail. They took on too much land and that land doesn't want to be ruled by them anymore because they're being mean or whatever. I don't know. But we're gonna get a breakaway here. We're gonna get it right over here in Rhodes. They don't they don't want to put up with it anymore and they break away. And basically all of Turkey breaks away, or all of Anatolia breaks away. All these islands off the coast, everywhere that the Olympians occupied, just says, no, we're not gonna take it. You suck. And this makes Olympia very mad, but they can't really do anything about it. They kind of just have to cry. So we have how many countries now? Like six? Well, let's make it seven. People from Thessaloniki and then eventually these guys, Dardanelia, they are getting interested in this land over here in North Turkey. And some people, in search of fortune or prosperity or whatever, are looking to move over there. Meanwhile, Dardanelia is kind of trying to occupy all this land around the entrance to the Black Sea. They don't know it's the entrance to the Black Sea yet, but they they're kind of as far as they're concerned, it's just like a giant lake. So they're trying to expand into all this, but people will eventually break away and form a new country in the north of Turkey. And this country will be. I'm trying to look for a good color here. I'm struggling a bit. There we go. They'll form right here on the east side of this, where like Istanbul is in real life. They'll move out and take as much Turkish north coast as they possibly can, and they'll expand pretty quickly. I mean, it's a lot of people that were like, I guess, sick of these guys, these two. So they move over here to North Turkey in pursuit of fortunes and fishing. I don't know what these people do. Maybe they grow crops at this point. I don't know. I said that already, but let's just say they have agriculture, like in Northern Olympia, and these guys, maybe in the inlands of these two countries, they have figured it out. And these guys are mostly relying on the Black Sea for economy, but they're starting to figure that out too in inland Turkey. Back to roads. They're going to continue their inland expansion as well as their expansion along the southern coast here. They'll expand all the way down here and they'll move inland, eventually meeting up with the border of Dardanelles, which isn't colored in. I'll fix that now. There we go. The two border each other. West Turkey is split between Dardanelles and Rhodes, the Green Rhodes nation, the nation of Rhodes. I think that works. You can have a nation that's like plural sounding like that. Bahamas, Rhodes. It fits, kinda. Anyways, back to these lovable fellows. Actually, we'll take a break to look at Thessaloniki. We're probably trying to expand a little closer to their central point, like right here. So they're probably trying to get more of this land, especially since it's now under threat from the Albanian rebellion, which I was gonna call it Kosovo. I'm just gonna call it East Albania. I think that works. But Thessaloniki, they expand pretty big inland, expand pretty big. Are they able to hold onto the land? Barely, but yeah. As for these guys, they'll also try something funny, moving up against the border, completely cutting off Olympia from expanding into the Balkans, which they're mad about, but they probably expected. That's why they're moving this way, or moved to this way. Now they're kind of just focusing inward, I'm sure. But these guys, they're moving up north, moving up here, all fun. Purple team here. Albania, they're also going to try to get more coastline, kind of moving up into this area of like southern Balkan coast. Are they able to hold on to it? I don't know. Let's flip a coin. Actually, I don't. Do I have a coin around me? I don't. I'm just gonna say they break away because why not? Dark orange for this one. The Slavic Union. That feels like a goofy name for an early name. The Kingdom of Slavia breaks away from Albania and probably brings with it quite a lot of population from these two. and begins to expand quite rapidly. Up north along the Balkan coast and even inland, they move pretty fast and quickly become rather strong in here. We'll see how long that lasts. And for now, that is the Balkan nations. This is the start of what's hopefully a nice series. Um, yeah, hype. Let's go. What if civilization started? Episode 1